to leave Kilkenny a point ahead. But Michael Brennan scored the final point deep in injury time to ward off any thoughts of a Clare victory against the favourites. In the end, a 2-point winning margin for Kilkenny on a final scoreline of Kilkenny 2-10, Clare 14 points. And captain Cillian Buckley collected the trophy after the game to make it All-Ireland win number 20 for the Kilkenny Miners.
Kevin Kelly, congratulations. You're the ESB Man of the Match for the All-Ireland Minor Final for 2010, and we have a Tipperary man here to present you with your award. So Conal Bonner, on behalf of ESB, if you do the honours, please.
Congratulations, Kevin. Thank you.
Kevin, congratulations. A wonderful team performance, a wonderful individual performance, but it wasn't there really until the end.
I know, we got very lucky there. We just got a few points there at the end. We were lucky, I suppose.
There were about 48 minutes gone before you actually took the lead. Did you feel under pressure by that Clare team in the first half? They were all over you.
They were winning all the balls out in the middle of the field, so we just had to stop that half time. So we did it, I suppose.
As a player for Kilkenny, wearing the Kilkenny shirt, how does it feel to be going home with an All-Ireland medal?
Brilliant, yeah, savage. Kilkenny have an ability to get goals like no other county in Ireland. And unfortunately, these young fellas seem to have the same knack, so that was the difference at the end of the day. But I think we're exceptionally proud of our players. They produced some magnificent performances out there today, so we're exceptionally proud of these guys. May have lost the game, but we'd be very, very hopeful that 5 or 6 of these guys will go on to have very, very serious senior careers.
Well, Donal O'Grady was far from the landslide Kilkenny win that people were predicting.
Well, I thought it was a superb game, Des, full of heart and endeavour, and I suppose Clare really will feel hard done by to a degree, but I think they just ran out of steam, and there were some super performances, none more so than Shane and Murray. Like, he'd be my man of the match, to be honest with you. I thought he was absolutely fantastic, but they just ran out of steam, and Kilkenny's goals turned it for them. Yeah.
Michael, take us through those goals. It's back to the cliche I mentioned earlier about goals making the difference.
Yeah, but Kilkenny looked to be in big trouble, and typical, I suppose, the way that they play a big high ball into the square, and Jerry Aylward, just got the full-back got caught the wrong side of his man. Aylward, great hand pass across, and Michael Brennan kept it low and into the corner of the net. Just see their full-back tried to do the right thing, get out in front, but great catch and laid it off, and really that got Kilkenny back into the game. They were struggling, and Clare played all the hurling, up to that point, and again another high ball in, and this guy Michael Brennan, who's had a great year, I've seen him 3 or 4 times, breaks onto the ball, carries it through, and watch your lovely kicked effort, and
great finish.
Yeah, great finish. I think it's Paul Buggy following up there. It'll be interesting tonight with them saying who scored. It was going in anyway, but Paul Buggy got to the end of it. But really, it was those 2 goals swung out for Kilkenny.
Right. Couple of elements and talking points out of the penalty that was given, Pete, to Kilkenny.
Yeah, again, another controversial decision, and the referee, I thought he had a good game, Anthony Stapleton, but the penalty, was it inside the square or was it not inside the square? Here we can see. You can see here that I actually think he was fouled outside the square, that it wasn't. And Stephen O'Halloran, he was coming across, he put his hand out, he pulled him down just here now. But it's definitely 2 metres outside the square. And again, the question has to be asked, with the technologies that we now have in Croke Park, big decision like that. Luckily enough, Paul Flanagan stops the ball. And again, I thought it was actually in the back of the net. And the reaction from the Kilkenny players immediately afterward indicated that it had crossed the line. Yeah. And there's an umpire standing there at it, but we'll have to give the benefit of doubt to him that it wasn't over the line.
Okay.
But again, it's controversy that we don't need, like when you have technology there that'll decide for us.
In a final. All right, so well done to Kilkenny, but you were really impressed with Clare, Donal.
I was, Des, and I think that the one thing that they didn't have was a goal getter, and that if they could have got a goal in the first half, I think they'd probably have gone on and won the match. But left corner forward particularly, but he impressed me. But I think Clare came with a plan, and they stuck to the plan for most of the game, and they just ran out of steam, as I said, in the last 20 minutes. But excellent scores here, right? And David O'Halloran was very, very sharp, and they played a lot of the ball down into his corner. And he's a bit light, but he looks an exceptional prospect. Skipped away from the tackles, knew what he had to do and just, one look and bang over the bar, right? And they were on song in the first half. Kilkenny came back a little bit, and you see Clare, they were fighting here now to try and get back and then level the match. And David Harlan very unlucky. He on the back foot there, and when you're trying to hit like that, the ball invariably spins to the right and just spun wide. And this was almost the last attack. Look for the ball. You see, it just broke to Dara Keenan. I think young fellas, right? They need a little bit of composure. They haven't the experience, and possibly if he had held it up and maybe shoved it across the 21, that they might have got back to level it. But Kilkenny, by virtue of the goals, as Mike said, they just both deserved to win it on that.
Anthony Daly, your view on the minor final?
That's coming up. I suppose nobody really gave Clare a chance. I saw Kilkenny in the Leinster final and against Galway. They were absolutely devastating. So Clare struggled over the line against Dublin, even though they were better than Dublin on the day, you'd have to say. But it was a fantastically spirited performance and a very well drilled team as well. In some ways, they sort of set the template for Tip, in that if the senior final could have been on first and the Clare lads had seen the Tip lads getting beaten Kilkenny, they might have had that little bit of extra belief. But it was similar in ways. The work rate was fantastic, and they showed how you can upset Kilkenny by really getting in the faces and tackling, hooking, blocking. And we won a minor All-Ireland in '97, and we didn't really get a great reward, if you're due a reward in any way, from a minor team. But a good lot of these guys seem to have the character that would come through to make good seniors, so hopefully future bright.
All right, Anthony, thanks for that. Well, it's competition time now, and we've teamed up with Etihad Airways, proud sponsor of the GA Hurling Championship, to offer you the chance to win a fantastic prize for two. You could be jetting off for a 5-night holiday to the exotic city of Abu Dhabi. I'm assured it's exotic. This great prize includes return flights for two, accommodation in a 4-star hotel, and to top it off, we'll give you €1,000 spending money so you can experience the best of what Abu Dhabi has to offer. And thanks again to Etihad for this great prize. Now, for your chance to win it, just answer this question. Who is the current president of the GA? Is it Jack Boothman, Eoin Kelly or Christy Cooney? If you know the answer, call 1515 71 71 82 or text the word hurling followed by your answer and name to 57111. Viewers in Northern Ireland can also text that number or call the phone number on screen. You must be over 18 to enter. Full details on RTE Airtel page 193. The lines close at 12 noon tomorrow. We'll announce the winner during Sport at 7 later in the evening. All right, coming up in part 3, our All-Ireland final man of the match, and we name our hurling team of the year for 2010.
To go then. Look at the sense of expectation. A little bit of jostling here and there. Look at the crowd, look at the colour. It hots up as a result.
Two brilliant hurlers, man to man, facing each other.
Fires it in, a second goal for Cork.
It comes to Dan the man.
Dangerously in for Shefflin, corner of the net.
He's going for it, he's got it. There's a chance here, oh what a goal.
Dangerously, what a goal. Donal O'Grady, and there's a chance. What a goal by Eoin Kelly. And Tipperary have won, they have knocked out Galway. Kilkenny have reached their 11th All-Ireland hurling final.
Horvat! Here's another one. Tipperary against Kilkenny.
On to Larcorvette. And there is another one for Tipperary. The Premier County are the top county in hurling for 2010.
All right, well, let's ask our audience for some of their highlights of the year as we reflected there. Ollie Moran, What stands out for you apart from today?
I suppose in general, I suppose it won't be looked back upon as being the greatest year, but certainly I think the Galway Tipperary game this year was I suppose before today was the best game of the year, and the game ultimately was decided by Lark Corbett's winning point. I think it was great work initially from Pa Burke, and the finish was unbelievable, and it embodied all that was good about Tipperary.
Yeah, and kind of epitomised what a good year he had as well.
So, definitely. It was a clinical finish from a man who was on top of his game.
Just on that, was today the best match of the year then, in your view?
I think it was. I suppose if you were to have one criticism of the Galway Tip game, and I'm sure Ali will agree with me, is that there was probably a lot of mistakes made, but today, just in terms of intensity and work rate, and two titans really going at it, I think today was an unbelievable game.
Right. Tony Griffin, your personal highlight is a personal highlight.
Yeah, I suppose I'm from a small enough club, and our players were being poached by Clarecastle there and Anthony Daly's club. But we had Tony Kelly and the captain full back today for Clare. Minors were both from our club, as well as one of the subs, Cathal Doon. But I think they're showing it there. One of my highlights is seeing him. He's a great guy, great fella, real professional, lifting the cup at the end of the Munster final against Waterford.
Yeah. And it's probably what epitomises the GA when your own fella every decade or two can
that's it.
stand on the big
Paul
moment.
there, Paul Flanagan, I've seen him since he was 12, and he was destined for something like that.
All right, well, Anthony Daly, apart from poaching players from Ballyea, what would...
You can see him in that black and white jersey,
What was your own highlight of the year?
Well, he's gone now. We're all waiting for the book to come out. It should be interesting. We'll be all trying to avoid the odd chapter of it. But Big Dan, I suppose, has been one of the most colourful figures in the GAA. Not the same with the helmet on, but came in extra time in the Munster final replay under the lights in Thurles, a historic night, and the winning goal really beating his old adversary, Donal O'Grady, who I scored many's a goal in him. So it's just I thought it was a great moment for Dan finishing off his career and to win another Munster Championship.
And you enjoy seeing that again?
Yeah, it's great.
All right, because I hope you enjoy seeing this again, because we asked Dinny Cahill to pick his highlight. What was it, Dinny?
Well, it was, I suppose, Antrim getting into an All-Ireland quarter-final again.
Beating?
Well, we won't say who to beat, but the achievement getting into an All-Ireland quarter-final was a massive achievement, because I think the panel back a couple of years ago questioned why Antrim should get into an All-Ireland quarter-final that easy. So they were there on their merits this year, and that's the reason why it was a personal achievement to see him reach the All-Ireland quarter-final.
Yeah, it certainly was. All right then, thanks for that, Dinny. Well, they're just some of the favourite moments from the year, but who are the players of the year? We're now going to name the Sunday Game Team of the Year for 2010 as chosen by our panel. And Donal is going to give us 1 to 5 on the team. Pete will give us 6 to 10 and Michael 11 to 15. So there'll be lots of talking points, of no doubt. Donal, 1 to 5.
Well, I think Ali Moran said there that it wasn't exactly a vintage year. There was probably 2 or 3 very good matches in it. But we came down in favour of Brendan Cummins as the goalkeeper. He does the bread and butter stuff well. He did it very well today, and chipped in with a massive point. And overall, I think he just about deserves it. I think Donal O'Grady was in his shout as well, but justifiably Brendan Cummins got in there.
Into the full back line then, right corner back.
Well, we went for Paddy Staple, and I thought he was, a brilliant game today, and he was very, very good in the semi-final as well. On Waterford's main man, John Milan, and he has improved consistently as the year went on, and he has been the top right cornerback, I think, in the country.
All right. Full back?
Full back, we gave it to Paul Curran. Again, steady progress. Wasn't their first choice at the start of the year, but Padraig Martin did that well down against Cork, and he was drafted in against Wexford when Declan Fanny went off injured and hasn't put a foot wrong, and he was absolutely fantastic today and brilliant, against Waterford. And, Shane Kavanagh could feel against Galway a little unlucky to lose out because, there wasn't that much in it, but we gave it to Paul Curran.
All right, it's not all Tipperary men.
No, without doubt, I suppose, and before I mentioned the man who got it, I suppose, the contenders were, we say, Ollie Canning, who had an excellent year, not just because he's sitting down there, and Noel Connors from Waterford, Brian Murphy from Cork,